Zebre actually get a win. I don't think I've ever worn this jersey before in a match video. Zebre beat the Sharks 12 points to 10. Like a whole season of winless pain from last year. Forgotten because they get a win. 12 points to 10. I sat down to watch this game. Don't ask me why I picked this one to watch. It was on at 6:30 in the morning. I thought, I'll get up and watch Zebre take on the Sharks. Both these sides are winless in the URC. We'll see which side is less bad. And apparently this week, it's Zebre. Part of me was also wanting to see Zebre because people telling me, as bad as they are, they score lots of tries. Well, not this week. None. But they get a win. The one time they don't get a try bonus point is the time they get a win. They'd rather get the win. We'll go through some key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. But man, the Sharks are not playing good. I know they got a lot of guys out. But wow, I don't know how well you can coach handling errors if you're John Plumtree, but they made a lot of them. Good start from Zebre, a bit of attack. They had a penalty one at scrum time, which is pleasing. They dominated the scrum for the majority of it. They had a line out, they got advantage, they opted for the 3, so a good 3-point lead early, but they immediately, Zebre, conceded penalty straight from the restart, which was pretty frustrating. They were offside. So the Sharks were able to even it up immediately. It was kind of frustrating when you see a team have to work that hard for 3 points and then gift 3 points straight back. That's a real coach killer. But then Trua kicked a massive penalty for Zebre in reply. So a bit of a tit for tat thing. Buthelezi off his feet at the breakdown. So 6 points to 3. And goodness me, like if there was one thing apart from the handling errors you'd be going for the Sharks is the discipline was awful. Yellow card, red card, so many penalties conceded. It was pretty nuts, but 6-3 to Zebre. But then, as I said, tit for tat, the Sharks get a try. The only try of the game, and they actually managed to hold the ball through a few phases. Cameron Wright's the guy who finishes it. The wide ball went through the hands of like Oosthuizen and Chamberlain and Fussy and whatnot, so they finally didn't knock the ball on. Slick hands. 10 points to 6 lead. And it stayed 10-6 for ages. I mean, there's a few things that are noteworthy for me, remembering I have seen virtually no URC this season. This is the first time I've watched either of these teams. I was not used to seeing Dylan Richardson play hooker. Apparently he played a bit of hooker back in Super Rugby Unlocked way back in the day, but he's certainly grown his hair out. That was a bit unrecognisable for me, but he was doing all right. Getting through some tackles and some good work at the breakdown, which was pleasing. First time I've seen a Pua Dianti in a long, long time since his ban. Maybe wasn't able to have the same impact on the game, but a lot of the backs weren't able to really get into the game as they would have liked. Interestingly, 32 minutes to see Zebre switch for touch when they had a penalty. They weren't going for threes anymore. They wanted to try. They were back in their forwards, man. Like they mauled it. They got advantage. They mauled it. They went through some phases. They got advantage. They were a meter out for ages. Sharks get a yellow card warning. The Zebre guys go for a maul again, but this time CC knocks it on. So it's a big win for the Sharks defense. They managed to hold on. It is 10 points to 6 to the Sharks at halftime. Zebre can't convert any of that late first half pressure into points, and the Sharks will just be concerned with how many penalties they conceded. It's early in the morning here, folks. Sharks more tackles, less possession, less territory, but more clean breaks for what it's worth at halftime. Zebre more pressure on second half. Some wide play, trying to find Priscatelli. The fullback ends up going into touch, so just missing that kind of clinical edge. No, it was Priscatelli to JC, missing that kind of clinical edge. And then the Sharks, likewise, they had bought a Chamberlain with a chip and regather, which was a pretty nice move. But then the final offload from Fenta to Koch just goes into touch. So, yeah, both sides are missing a little bit of that edge. The Sharks, when they finally had some pressure, went for a drop goal from Chamberlain. It goes wide, so that's a bit of a let-off because then the resulting dropout from the 22 was a pretty big one. Zebre won another scrum penalty in 56 minutes. They missed touch. That period of the game I didn't enjoy that much because both sides were just mucking it up. I mean, defensively it was pretty solid, but I was shaking my head for somebody to just take this game by the scruff of the neck and do something. We had a first TMO intervention around about the hour mark where there was a Zebre multi-phase attack and Fussy got yellow carded for a high shot. on Garcia, which I thought was a bit harsh because Garcia was so low to the ground and Fussy's bent and trying to wrap, I thought. But there's head contact there, so the yellow card him. I've seen those kind of ones not carded before when the player who's being tackled is just that low and the technique of the tackler is not that bad. But anyway, it's carded. So 10 minutes in the bin. During that time, they opt for the initial 3. So when Fussy goes off, they get 3 to bring it within a point. And then they get another 3 towards the end of the yellow card when Deontay gives away kind of a soft offside penalty. So the Zebre boys went 12-10 in front. They got 6 points during that yellow card. And the Sharks scrum was still under a bit of pressure. You felt like they needed to get the props off. They did sub Oosthuizen during the yellow card, but yeah, Sharks had to chase the game now, man. They're 2 points behind. They haven't scored any points in the second half. You had Fussy catching a high ball, getting tackled, immediately knock it on, and then maybe a chance for the Zebre guys to kill it because they got a scrum in the Sharks 22 from that knock on. The crowd are finally getting really into the game. They're getting some noise into it. Sharks scrum's been under pressure all night, but that's when the Sharks finally win a penalty at scrum time. And then the Sharks, I think their best chance to win it, to get back in front, is like 75 minutes. They had multiple phases. They were in Zebre territory. They finally didn't go for the droppy, which was nice. They were slowly inching their way forward, but eventually they just put a little grubber kick through. And the grubber kick was fine. Like, it put Zebre into their own, like 5 meters out from their own goal line. But they won the line out, and then Fusco's clearance was a cannon. So I feel like with 5 minutes to go or 4 minutes to go, you probably need to hang on to the ball. That's not the best decision making. I mean, as I said, if the Sharks win that line out and then steal line out ball from the Zebre guys, they're able to put some pressure on, maybe score. They look genius, but because they didn't hold on to the ball, you're kind of putting your fate back into the other team's hands and relying on them to make a mistake or a bit of brilliance, and it didn't work out. It gets worse for the Sharks because Hiron Andrews gets a red card for a tip. Clear out, tip the replacement prop onto his head, so he gets red carded. The Zebre guys don't go for 3 from the resulting penalty against 14 men. They go for touch. They maul it. They go through phases. I feel like the phases are more just to kill the clock than to actually go for a try. They managed to kill the clock successfully for about a minute and a half. And yes, Zebre get their first win in, 28 attempts? Big win. They act like they won the World Cup, and I don't blame them. Literally the first win for some of these players. Possession finish is pretty much 50-50, likewise territory. The Sharks have got more run meters, 379 to 207. More clean breaks, 2-3. More defenders beaten, 16-13. The Zebre guys make a few more tackles, 132 to 107. But the penalties conceded, according to Ultimate Rugby, 14-3 is huge. That is the game for the Sharks guys. Some of it was the scrum. Some of it was just like soft, like the offside one from Deontay. A couple of the ones at the breakdown pretty soft. As I said, I thought the yellow card was a bit harsh, and that cost them 6 points. But yeah, still, some of the decision making from the Sharks guys left a bit to be desired. They are back home next to face Connacht, which will be an interesting one. Hopefully the Sharks can find some form. Zebre is home to Cardiff. Individuals, Putalesi at 55 metres. Richardson at 44 metres, 3 defenders beaten, 16 tackles. Certainly one of the top performers in a bad day at the office for the Sharks guys. Chamberlain had a clean break from that chip and chase. Priscantelli had a clean break. Licata, I think, was man of the match, had 17 tackles. So, yeah. Zebre, I finally watched your game, and you finally got a win. Well done. Even if it wasn't the prettiest result, you didn't score any tries, you still managed to get yourselves a win. Fingers crossed that is not the only win of the Zebre season. You guys let us know your thoughts. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.